Hi everybody. So this week's assignment has you making a histogram for sweet potato weights, and it come to my attention that not everybody is as comfortable in Excel as I am, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise for me because I've been using Excel for probably about 20 years at this point. So I'm very used to what Excel can and can't do. So I wanted to make this video to show you how exactly you're going to use Excel to make a histogram. So let's take a look at some data. Here we go. This is the pie weight data from your lecture notes. And the reason I'm using the pie weight data is because if I use the sweet potato data, everybody is going to copy this example verbatim and not do your own work. So we'll start with getting N, our count of the observations we have here. So I can't count all these. I'm going to lose track at some point. So I'm going to have Excel count them for me. And to do that, I'm going to type equals count. And then I'm going to select my range here. There we go. That's everything. And there it is, 104. So that's the total number of observations. And if you were to go and count all of these numbers here, there would be 104 of them. But I got Excel to do it for me. The next thing we want to do is figure out, well, how many bars do we need? Let's just do a random number. I'm not going to do Sturgis or Rice or anything like that. I'm going to say, let's do 6 bars. 6 is a good number. Okay, now we need to figure out our bar width. So we know we want 6 bars total, and we know our data starts at a certain number and stops at a certain number. So what I'm going to do is take our maximum observation minus our minimum observation, that's our data range, and divide it by the number of bars. So that is the width of each bar, 0.11. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is make data labels for my data. So our minimum observation right here, 44.71. So we're going to go from 44.71 to 0.71 plus 0.11 is 0.82. So to keep me from having potentially duplicate observations in bars, I'm going to say I'm going to go down just a little bit on my observations. So this is going to go to 44.81 instead of 82. I'll start the next one at 44.82. I'm going to add 0.1 to that, so 44.92. And I will keep going until I hit 6 bars. Okay, so there's our labels right here. And a quick reasonability check, we go from our bottom observation, and then let's take a look at our highest one. And that's 45.37. So what I'm going to do is sneak that in here. So that'll go in our last bar, because otherwise we're missing an observation and we're not going to have 104 total observations in our histogram. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is figure out how many observations are going to be each bar. So we're going to have Excel count those for us, and we're going to select the range that falls within this category right here. So up to 44.80. Next one's 44.82, that goes in the next bar. So that many observations. Next one, we're going to have Excel count this for us, and we hit the end of this column. We have more data in the next column, but you can't keep going, it doesn't wrap properly. So what I'm going to do is stop this count and add another one. I'm going to take this down. We still haven't hit the end, but that's okay because we can have Excel keep counting until we get to our final value here. There we go. And we will keep counting like that until we have all of our observations filled up. All right, there we go. We have our bar labels and we have our bar counts. Now what we need to do is make a chart. Some of you have the Windows version of this. I have the Mac, as you can see by these nice little colors right here. And I don't have any histogram templates. I do have QI macros installed and I can make a histogram with that, but I'm going to show you how to do it with an Excel native chart. So what you want to do is go to the Insert menu, go to Recommended Charts. Well, that's a big mess because it doesn't do what I want to do. So I'm not going to follow its recommendations. I'm going to say I want a clustered column chart right here. And so it thought it knew what I wanted, and it gave me a very lovely chart with a whole pile of series, and that's actually not what I want at all. So I'm going to tell Excel what I actually want. So to do that, I'm going to select data, and you can see it's giving me a whole ton of series right here. Now, I do want to emphasize again that this is the Mac version of Excel, and the Windows version is going to look slightly different. This is also the 2016 Mac version, so if you have an older version, it may again look slightly different. So how I'm going to deal with this is I don't like any of these series, so I'm just going to get rid of every single series I have, and I'm going to make my own. In the Windows version, I believe you have an edit series and a delete button that would be right here above the blank box. And so you can edit your series with those buttons, you could delete with those buttons. All right, so to put data in, I need to make a series. There it is. I'm not going to give it a name because I just want one series. I'm going to pick my Y values. My Y values are my bar heights. So I'm going to select all of these. I say OK. And now I need axis labels. And those were the values I typed out. That's why I typed out those values, because I wanted those particular labels for my axes. Now you can see in the background that my chart still doesn't look any different, and that's because it doesn't update until I hit OK. So let's do that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to take this series label off. This is my legend. I don't need it. So that gives me a little bit more space. I can see right here my labels look pretty good. If I want to play around with those, I can go to Format and change them there. I have a format pane that is going to show up beyond where my cursor is right now to the right, but I'll just leave the data labels where they are. You can use that formatting pane, the formatting, to kind of turn them diagonally so you can see them a little bit better. Right now I'll just leave it. If you want to label your axes, you're going to have to add the axis titles through the Add Chart element. So I'm going to add horizontal titles, and I'm going to add vertical titles. And so it gives you the very inventive label axis title. All right, so I will call these pie weights because that's what they are, and they are in ounces. So I'll put my units on because I'm an engineer and I really like units. For the vertical, I will put number of observations. And that's that. And so you can see now we have our histogram. And you can see we've got a decent amount of variation in our pie weights, which means we probably need to take a look at our process and make sure it's filling okay. Now remember, I did have that lecture on you can use your histogram to kind of manipulate what your data look like. This is the same thing. If I chose a different number of bins, my histogram is going to have a different shape. So think about that when you're doing your homework. If you've got any questions about how to make this chart, feel free to contact me through office hours, email, Facebook IM, Facebook in general. If it's really confusing, we can just set up a Zoom call and we can screen share and I can see exactly what's going on. So any questions, again, feel free to contact me and good luck.